Alright guys, so today I have the 2020 Hyundai Sonata. Now this is a fully redesigned next generation version of the Sonata. Now in this video, I'm going to show you guys a few things about this car, and if you're not a huge fan of Hyundai, if you still think they are the disposable budget brand, in this video, I'm not going to convince you that this is the car you should buy next, but I will have you guys going away from this video impressed at what Hyundai has done here. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright you guys, so checking out the 2020 Hyundai Sonata. Now, this tester costs around $34,000. You guys can see the exact MSRP here on the screen. And it's finished off in Phantom Black. Now, I wish I had better filming conditions. This entire week in Texas has been so wild. So, it's been a mix of rain, snow, sleet, and partial sunny days. But either way, this car is stunning. I do think it's a beautiful car. Despite what videos and pictures have led me to believe, once they actually dropped it off, I was impressed. Now, I do think the front is my favorite, which is funny because it's probably the most controversial part. I love this huge catfish-like grille. I actually think it looks awesome in person. The car's really low, it looks really aggressive. You've got all this functional aero going on the sides over here. Lots of open areas, so the entire middle of the grille is going to be fully functional, feeding that radiator, feeding that intercooler. And then you've got these awesome lights you guys can see right here. These lights flow all the way into the chrome strip that's going to run all the way down the entire side of the car. It's a really nice design cue. It's very bold. I love that Hyundai went out and did that. And of course, because this is the Limited, you are going to have full LED lights. At night, this thing looks the business. It's sharp, it's crisp, it looks expensive, and Hyundai really knocked it out of the park here. As you come up, you are going to have this nice hood cowl coming here in the middle, so you guys can see that running right there. It does add a little bit of boldness, a little bit of aggression, muscularity to the car. There's one other thing I want to point out about the side here. So you guys see this little vent right there? It's funny because that's all going to flow out of one vent behind here, so you guys can see the vent behind where all the air flows out, but this and this are both going to funnel into the same vent, which is pretty interesting. I think it's more for aerodynamic reasons, but either way, it's unique. I've never seen it done before like that, so I do want to credit Hyundai once again for doing something different. Then as you come to these wheels, you've got these really beautiful wheels. I'm a huge fan. I think they look great from a profile. This car looks fantastic with these wheels. Now, as we come towards the back here, there's one thing I do want to talk about, and that's this thick line that runs all right here. If you get at the right angle, you can really see it, and it looks awesome. It's really impressive how Hyundai was able to bend this sheet metal in such an exotic way. It does a great job at making this car look like a nice executive sedan. It looks almost Audi-like from certain angles. And then as we come to the back here, you're going to have that unique light that's going to go from this end all the way to the other end. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I prefer the front. I like the back, it's nice, but it kind of reminds me of like an upside down version of what you would get on a Honda Civic. It still looks good, it still fits the car really well, don't get me wrong, but I just wish they would have done something as bold as they did on the front, if that makes sense. And then as you come to the top of the lights, you're going to have these little diffusers on each side. It's crazy because you can see it so well from the side, and you can also see how this has like a built-in deck lid spoiler, which is pretty interesting. Of course, it's going to say Sonata right there. Also, if I didn't mention, lights look incredible at night from the back as well. So once again, it still gives it that nice expensive expression, and I quite enjoy it. And then as you come down, you are going to have your dual tipped exhaust over here to the right, and then a little mini diffuser here in the middle. All right, you guys, so here's your key for the Hyundai Sonata. Very simple. You have your lock, your unlock, you're going to have your trunk release, panic. I'll talk about these in just a second, and then on the back you have your Hyundai symbol. But pretty nice key design, I really like it. And you can actually use these buttons to move the car forwards and backwards, and I'll show you guys how that works right now. Here's how using the key to move the car works. So here's the key. I'm going to lock it, hold this. It's going to start it. Perfect. And now I'm going to hit this back arrow right here, and I'm going to hold it. And I'm still holding it the entire time. Done. And then same thing to move it forward. You just press it, hold it. It takes a second sometimes, but there you go. All right, guys, so shutting the door on the Hyundai Sonata. Grab handle is going to be right behind here. Really solid shut. Not a single thing rattled. And here's a wide view of the interior for you guys. Now, start stop button is going to be right behind here, so you guys can see that there. It's got this nice blue illumination behind it, foot on the brake, and then you're going to push that to start. Nice. Probably turn this air down though. Okay. So now starting with the steering wheel, really cool steering wheel. The leather on here is extremely high quality. It's got this really smooth, just supple feel to it. Nice thumb areas here. Got some grip extensions right there. I love this aluminum piece that runs all through the middle and goes up here. Reminds me a lot of like the K900 steering wheel. And it's nice to have extra areas to put your hand. So when you're driving, you can put your hand down here, just relax here. You can put both hands here. And then of course you can do the normal driving area with both hands right up here. It's pretty nice. Over to the right, you have your cruise control settings. So cruise, you have your steering assist. You're going to have your adaptive cruise, things like that. This is to control the different menus in here. I'll go through that in just a second. Over to the left, you have all your media commands, volume, previous, next. Paddle shifters located right behind here. Pretty solid feel. And then right behind here, you are going to have automatic wipers. If you guys can see that, you can probably see it better from this angle. There we go, automatic wipers. You can have automatic lights over here to the left. And then coming back to the screen, it's really simple, really easy to use. It's basically exactly the same as the Hyundai Palisade. So using this button located right here, I'm going to scroll through different screens. And yeah, so it's really, really easy to use. Almost takes no getting used to at all. Super simple. And then as you go through different modes, that will change the way the screen layout looks. And I'll get to the modes in just a second. But coming over here, you're going to have some more buttons. So you're going to have your emergency parking brake. You're going to have your lane keep above that. To the left, you have your interior illumination, traction control, and then your trunk release right next to that. As we come up, we have more of that tan leather right here. Looks really nice. You also have ambient lighting in here. It's super vivid. And I love the way the ambient lighting looks in here at night. It's really beautiful, and it just gives it a very expensive look. Then coming up, we are going to have your head-up display located right there. More tan leather all right behind here. You have speakers back there for your Bose sound system. And I love the head unit. So once again, everything is all digital. Well, I say once again, but this is my first time mentioning it. So everything is all digital. There you go, guys. And it's the same screen that, or the same interface that Hyundai Kia has used for the past like 2 to 3 years, and it works really well. So scrolling through here, everything's really nice. One thing that's unique that I've never seen is this sounds of nature. So you push that, and it's going to give you sounds of nature. And I'm guessing it's to test out the sound system. So right here it says Bose center point. If you turn it off, so yeah, that one definitely makes me need to go to the bathroom. But either way, I'm guessing it's to like relax before you go into work or anything like that. But it's just an interesting thing that I've never seen on any Hyundai or Kia vehicle before. Now, obviously, you can do other settings, adjust your car exactly the way you want it. You have the weather right there, Apple CarPlay, you do have on here as well. And then scrolling through again to your setup, and you click on vehicle, you can go through and you can change like the height of your head-up display. You can go to lights, change the color of your ambient lighting. So you actually go through, choose from a color wheel, any color that you want within that color wheel spectrum, and that will be your ambient light color. So that is a pretty cool feature there. And other than that, you have touch sensitive areas here off to the side for map navigation, your custom button here, radio media, and then track setup, all that different stuff. And you have an actual volume knob, which is always nice. As far as the vents are concerned, I love the way they look. Everything's very synchronized, so you guys can see the vents there and the vent over here. Everything just looks really nice, very well put together. All digital right here, so as you turn this, you guys can see the digital display works pretty well. Dual zone climate control, heated steering wheel, heated and cooled seats, but the way these work are quite different. So instead of it starting at 3 and then working your way down, you push up 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3. Same thing with the cooled seats, down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Same thing for both sides. Then moving back, you're going to have a wireless charging pad down here, 2 USBs, although only one of them, specifically this one that says USB, is going to work for Apple CarPlay, and then your 12 volt located right back there. You have your push button shifter, and it's really nice. It clears up a lot of space. It's easy to use once you get used to it. And then of course, if you put it in reverse, it's gonna pull up your backup camera. You have 360. You are going to have guidance lines, and if you push these, it's going to change your view. And park will make it go right away. Coming back, your cup holders. Cup holders are good size. They can hold like bottles. They can hold large drinks, things like that. So it does pass the American drink holder test. And then you have a little area here. You can like slide your phone. That's pretty much it. You can't put a wallet in there, especially if your wallet's thick. If you have one of those little clip wallets, you can probably fit it in there as well. But it is nice to put your phone there whenever you're using Apple CarPlay, because with Apple CarPlay, you do have to plug it in. So there's no point in using your wireless charging pad. So it's better to just set it right here and then use this for extra space. Coming right here, you do have your camera views, which you can pull up at any time as long as you are parked. So not at any time. Parking sensors here. Drive modes is like a little toggle right there. And speaking of that, like I said, you have different drive modes that change the screen setup. So go up to sport. There we go. Custom. And that's pretty much it. Custom, normal, and smart look exactly the same. Now coming right back, you're going to have your automatic brake hold. This is basically to activate moving your car forward and backwards. You can use it to pull into your garage. So let's say you get home, park, you're gonna push this button, and then you use your key to pull it into the garage. Honestly, I would probably just pull it into the garage myself, unless for whatever reason you need to use that. I'm sure it'll come in handy in some situations, but I can't see myself using it very often unless I just wanna show it off to my friends or my family. You've got this really nice armrest, really supple. It's got a nice give to it. The tan leather feels incredible. More stitching here. Your handle's going to be right underneath there. Pull that up. Lots and lots of space, but you don't have any plugs in here. No USB, no auxiliary, nothing. So you can't put anything in there to charge or anything like that. Lockable glove box right here. Auto dimming mirror with your home link underneath there. You do have full LED lights on this car. This is to open and close your sunshade. This is a full panoramic roof, so you guys can see here it looks absolutely gorgeous. Lets in a ton of light, makes the cabin just feel a lot more airy. You're going to have your vanity mirror, but your light is manual, so it's not going to turn on automatically whenever you slide this open. Not that that's a huge deal. And then a card holder right there. One other thing is if you roll down these windows, you do have these double pane windows right here. I'll get you guys a nice B-roll clip right here, but you guys can see double pane windows looks really nice. Pretty much it for the front. Let's go ahead, hop in the back, and then we'll check out the rest. All right, so sitting in the back seat of the Hyundai Sonata. So shutting the door, super solid shut. I can already tell you guys my hair is hitting. So being 6 feet tall, sitting behind myself, my hair is scraping up here. I'd say if you are a little bit below 6 feet, you can fit back here. My knee room is excellent. I've got about 3.5 inches of knee room behind myself. So knee room isn't the issue here. It's just the headroom. Because of that slope outside, which does give the car a beautiful look from the outside, you do suffer in terms of headroom on the inside. It's a really odd thing because judging by right here, I'm fine. Being 6 feet tall, I'm impressed I can fit back here with as much leg room as I have, but my headroom is where I suffer. So I would have to utilize that extra knee room, slouch a little bit, and then at that point, I'm comfortable enough so that way my head isn't hitting. You do have vents back here. You have a USB. The middle hump is super low, so you can easily fit a third person here. That is a plus. You've got one map pocket. You have a fold-down armrest, which feels very sturdy. It's got this little push-through area. You guys can see right there, and it's just super locked in. Really sturdy, deep cup holders, so I doubt your cups will fly out if you're sitting back here, which is always a positive. You've got LED lights back here, so they're super bright at night. A grab handle, an area to put like dry cleaning, and that's pretty much going to be it. The armrest is in the perfect position in my opinion. It's not too close, and it's wide enough that you can actually use it as an armrest. And it's just an overall decent place to be. It's just if you are taller, headroom may be a little bit of an issue. But let's go ahead and check out the trunk space. All right, you guys, so coming to the back of the Hyundai Sonata. Now, to get into the trunk, you can obviously use the key, but there is a button on here. You just would never know what it was unless you watched this video or any other video that mentions it. But here in the Hyundai symbol, where the H is, right in this top area that's blacked out, so like right here, that's actually a button. You push that, and that's going to open the trunk. Now, once you're in here, you have about 16 cubic feet of space, which is a ton of space. You don't have any mats in here because Hyundai didn't add any options for this specific tester. And then if you lift up the floor, you are going to have a spare down here with your jack assembly equipment and things like that. So very simplistic in here, and you can pull these latches to pull down the seats on each side. That's pretty much going to be it. There's nothing too fancy in here. You don't have any hooks. You don't have anything to put nets or anything like that. So let's go ahead and see what's under the hood. All right, you guys, so coming under the hood of the new Hyundai Sonata. So this Limited is going to have the highest engine option. So this is going to be a 1.6 liter Smart Stream turbocharged GDI engine. So a lot of things going on here, but basically this has been upped from the previous iteration of this 1.6 liter. So now it makes 180 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. Now this is only front-wheel drive, and it is mated to Hyundai's in-house 8-speed automatic, which actually shifts pretty well. And this is going to get, I believe, about a maximum of about 36 miles per gallon. You guys can see the exact fuel economy ratings here on the screen. And in my testing, it has done exactly that. In certain situations, depending on how you're driving, you can easily get close to 40 miles per gallon in this thing. But let's go ahead, get this on the road, and see how it drives. All right, everyone, so behind the wheel of the 2020 Hyundai Sonata. Now, let me just start this off in the most interesting way possible. This weather this week in Texas has been wild. I drove this through this massive rainstorm. There was a tornado warning, so they found a funnel, all this crazy stuff. Luckily, there was no hail, but the car drove surprisingly well in hard rain. Even though it's hard to see, the car is very stable. It did kind of feel like it would want to hydroplane every now and then, but that's probably due to the fact that we have just concrete roads out here, and they get super slick, and there was tons of rain, so the amount of water building up on the roads was pretty ridiculous. Wouldn't recommend driving in that kind of condition at all. But since I was stuck in it, it did pretty well, and I felt very safe, very secure in here, which was good. Then the next day, it snowed. It straight up snowed. It was like 28 degrees. It was snowing on my way to Dallas. So drove it through snow. It's only been sunny like maybe one full day. Like it was like sunny half of one day and then sunny half of another day. And yeah, it's just been really weird. Either way, right now it's cold and rainy now. So these are the different conditions I've been driving the Hyundai Sonata in, and it's done great in all of them. I'm pleased to announce that to you guys. So very, very surprised and very impressed by that. And in terms of driving feel, how does it feel when you're driving it? Well, it's been sublime. This car is very quiet. You can sort of hear the engine, but the engine doesn't have much of an engine note at all. So don't even worry about the engine note. You don't notice it, and you don't really want to notice it because it doesn't have a good sound to it. But thankfully, it's damped enough in here that you don't have to hear it if you don't want to. It rides well. Over some surfaces, it can feel busy, it can feel bumpy, but for the most part, it does a good job at staying very neutral in terms of just a good mix of floatiness and a good mix of sportiness. I like it a lot. The steering feel is okay. It doesn't have a ton of like precision to it, but it's fine for everyday use. It's fine for driving around town. It's fine for driving on the highway. And this has one of the best cruise control systems behind like Tesla's autopilot. I'm not kidding you guys. You push cruise, push down, that's it. Boom. Then you can technically take your hands off the wheel if you want. So it's taking this curve right here. Well, now granted, this isn't an autopilot system. You're not supposed to take your hands off the wheel like this. I'm just risking it for the biscuit for you guys because I want you to see how good this system is. And the cool part is if I turn off cruise, which cruise is off right now, and if I were to go and just hit this little steering wheel button, it will steer, but I can control the gas. So I'm accelerating and I can brake, and I can control all the gas and brake myself while the car just steers for me. So that's interesting. I've never seen that done on, I don't think, any other car. Blind spots are pretty, there are some blind spots. It's not without blind spots, but you do have that quarter panel window back there that helps a lot. And then of course you have blind spot monitoring, and you also have the cameras in the gauge cluster. So when you blink left, it'll show you a camera. When you blink right, it'll show you a camera on that side as well. So the only way I can see you hitting someone in your blind spot is if they're going absurdly fast, or if you're just in a rush and you're not paying attention. That's the only way I can see you getting into an accident that involves you, bumping into someone to your left or to your right. Let's see. There is one complaint I have about the driving experience, and that is I don't fit in here very well. I'm 6 feet tall. With my hair up, I'm like 6'1", 6'1.5". If you're taller than that, or if you're as tall as me, there are some situations where my head like scrapes against the roof. It's ever so gently, which makes it more annoying because you just feel this gentle like brush of your hair, and it gets kind of annoying. And the seat is at its lowest position. I can't go any lower, so my only option is to scoot the seat forward and then lean it back more, and then it's not the most comfortable driving position, but I've gotten used to it. Once you get comfortable, it's fine, it's great. But if you're taller than me, I would suggest trying this car out first. Power is adequate on here. It's not gonna rip your face off, but it's not slow. It's definitely not slow. It is more than adequate, and because this is a 1.6, it's a very small, very light engine, and you're tugging around less weight. And then you've got a good amount of power. You're talking almost 200 horsepower, and it's got a good surge of torque. So when you get on it, so 3,000 RPM, it pulls you back a little bit. It's pretty quick. It's more than enough for your average person. Now, if you're in a rush, like let's say if I'm trying to hurry up and switch lanes, you have to give it a second because there is turbo lag. So I wouldn't suggest just flooring it and immediately trying to get over. You have to wait a second. So there is that. And then if you're at like a stop, because it says front wheel drive and you floor it, getting all that torque at one time to the wheels, it just creates a lot of spin, especially in conditions like this and in conditions like when it was snowing the other day. You don't want to do that. So that's just a front wheel drive thing. That's nothing to the car itself. That's not a downfall to Hyundai themselves. It's just a downfall of having front wheel drive. It's just hard to always put the power down. It doesn't make you want to drive fast. It just is one of those vehicles that you can just cruise in, maybe leave a little bit early, that way you have more time to spend in the car. It's just a great place to be. I enjoy it a lot. I think Hyundai did a great job on this car. I'm so impressed by it. And I think if you guys are shopping around, make this one of the vehicles that you put on your short list, because it is very good. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this new Sonata. Would you get this over like a Camry? Would you get this over the Accord Sport? Where does this fall in the options list for you? Comment below, let me know, because I'm really curious. And if you guys like car content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you guys subscribe. I'd love to have you part of my journey. Almost to 60,000 subscribers, sorry. So hopefully I can get there soon. But thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next review. Y'all take care, bye.